Warriors Unite! Back with another episode of Bigger Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well. It's starting to get a little cooler in the Midwest area here. A little rain, which is always good for my grass and get this thing organized and get moving. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for your comments. Always thank you for the feedback, good and bad. We had some interesting comments of late. I'm going to talk about a topic that seems to be a little prevalent with a few people, so I want to kind of address it to try to help you guys if I can. Let's do some shout outs first. Let's go to our list. YM, thank you. Jon the Dawn, as usual. A lot of these guys are tremendous subscribers and helped a lot. Oleg, thank you, my friend. AJ, the Don King, I think it's called. He's got a slash in between there. Looks like you're 30. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that a great deal. Zackazuki, thank you, my friend. I don't know if I said that right. I hope I did. Daniel Fredericks, thank you. Rekan, thank you. Denis Malone, thank you. Knowledge Baraka, thank you. 28 months. I know this is probably a lot longer than that at this point, but congratulations. Sirgigglez, thank you. Righteous Pleasures, Remington Tufflips, thank you. Harmony Within, 1 year, congratulations. Keep going. Jennings again, thank you. Mike Bands, Tobe von Heirseele, thank you. Light in the Dark, thank you. Yisrael Yehuddah, thank you. Anthony Plaza, thank you. God is Good, thank you. Miss Van Dan, thank you. Adelina Kampos, thank you. PA 315, thank you. Knowledge Harvester, sorry about that. Jonathan Sanchez, Looking Like a Pink Rabbit, thank you. Frederick Gray, TSK, Rodrigo R, Albert Redfield, Navin Sunder, thank you. Junior, Run Until You Pass Out. I love that. It's a great kind of quote to just keep active all the time. Peaceful Being, thank you. JJ Sosoon, thank you. Marvin Lang, Zian Johnson, thank you. The Snoozeberries, thank you. Tastes like snoozeberries. I appreciate that. So thank you guys for all your comments. And at the 2:20-minute mark here, I appreciate all you guys a great deal. Let's talk about a topic. Now, and I'm also going to give a shout out here to Alpha 777 and Certified Finest as well. The topic here is can't attract women, right? So the question I have, and not seeing any benefits from this is kind of a prevailing type of theme over the last couple of days of people kind of sending me things, is saying they can't attract women and they don't see any kind of benefits of happening. So let's talk about this. So my first question, when it comes to can't attract women, and I think I put this in the title, but you can't attract women, the question is, why are you trying? Now, I say this, warriors, not to be facetious or rude or anything like that, but I say that because this is a key element in the whole idea of retention. You start off by thinking, first of all, what is the real problem that we have in our society? We have a lot of young males and older males and males in general who lack a lot of self-control. Now, there's lots of reasons for that. Part of it's the way they're brought up, not having a lot of strong male role models or no male role models at all. Part of it is the social media, the matrix that we're looking at, getting people to release all the time and looking at pornography, all these kind of things, getting involved in vices, getting involved in addictions, things like that. There's a lot of issues when it comes to, not having strong males, in any sort of capacity. So what happens then is females try to take control because they feel they have to. And so males, become less and less stronger mentally. And so there's lots of things happening here. And so one of the reasons we do all this, and one of the reasons why I've done all this and over the years, is the fact that, the issue has to start somewhere, but the issue really is a lack of self-control. If you're able to control yourself, and any kind of biblical research you look at, whether it's the Bible, any religious test you're looking at, the key to become stronger with your God and your Creator and just overall success really goes back to self-control. And so the whole idea is you're starting with self-control. So how do I get self-control? Well, the hardest mechanism in the whole world that you can think of, the biggest, strongest power you have, is your biological energy. This is now for men. Women have the same thing as well, but women do lose some of their energy during the month for obviously reasons. But males, we have the ability to accomplish great things in this world, but a lot of males are losing that potential because they're allowing themselves to lose all that energy. And along with the mental and emotional stress that comes along with some of that stuff, men become very weak. They think they're strong, but they become really weak. And they have tendencies to show a lot of feminine qualities then. And all you got to do is look down the street, and you can see that anywhere you're at anywhere at USA, you can see while men are losing their abilities because of a lot of this. So the first question then looks at is, in fact, how can I build my self-control? Obviously, you first look at semen retention. Celibacy, they call it. Brahmacharya, they call it. Sophism, they call it. Doesn't matter what terminology you use. It's a matter of controlling your own sexual behavior. And then using that sexual behavior, that energy you have that you're born with, to transmute that into things that can really create success. Your goals, your ambitious, things like that, to make yourself the best, highest value male you can become. So as a result of that, you're going to have situations in which you're going to do that. Now, that's the reason you should be doing this. The reason you should be doing this is to create those things. Now, obviously, a lot of us, because we're in that mode biologically of wanting to have females and attract females, and sometimes, we're thinking of sleeping with females, all those type of things, right? We think about females a lot. And because of that, we're almost going against our nature here to self-control. And as a result of that, even in this thing, when people start semen retention, and I had this problem early on, you're still thinking about women. And this is why I've gone to monk mode, because I think the only way you really have long-term success on this is to actually not even think about women at all and start going into monk mode, which you're only focusing on other things. Now, is this easy to do? Of course not. This is why this is an epidemic problem in our society. Men cannot stop thinking about women enough, and they lusting, all these things that God has talked about that we should not be doing. Committing adultery, all kinds of stuff like that. So when you start this process of semen retention, and you're starting this quest of self-control, which will eventually lead to getting rid of addictions when it comes to alcohol and drinking and anything else you might have, drugs or problems or overeating, the question then becomes, to your fact, is that you need to try to get away from thinking about women at all. Now, you may say to yourself, well, Vigor Warriors 2, what happens then? I won't even ever find a woman. Women will never be attracted to me. Well, this is what I thought too. I had 47 years of this going back and forth. So I know from nature, I know from specific reasons what I'm talking about in this case. I know I felt like that. I felt like, well, am I going to lose my health benefits if I don't release for a period of time? I believed a lot of the doctors, they said this. Will I be more attractive to my wife or to women in general in business or whatever it might be if I don't release all the time, as recommended, that I saw many times, releasing, 3 times a week, twice a day, whatever it might have been over the years that I saw. So the thing is that I believed all of that. And I fell for all that because that really was something that has turned out to be so much the opposite that I just couldn't believe that I spent 59 years, well, about 47 years, because the first 10, 12 years, obviously, I was still kind of maturing as a child. But the 47 years of believing it, it wasn't until I decided that, okay, this is it. I cannot keep going like this, and I want to really become stronger with the Lord. I wanted to become stronger with all the things that are important to me, that I just gave up all that. And I said, that's it. Now, it wasn't easy because you're still thinking about women. it takes a long time to get to the point where you're completely monk mode and you're not thinking about women at all. You're always going to see women, especially in the summertime. You're still seeing women who are, you know, half their clothes are on, and so they become very attractive. You can't not notice them. And then once again, the birds are going to fly over your head, but they do not let them nest in your head. So when we get down to this basic idea, you should really plan, warriors, to not even worry about attracting women. And I say that because women will be attracted to you. They will come to you. You will be amazed at how many women treat you differently once you're not thinking about them. It's a psychological fact. When you don't think about these, you don't put pressure on yourself, you are being yourself. Combine that with the semen retention and the energy women feel because you're a man on a mission for self-control. You'll have lots of women coming after you, even for the challenge of getting you off your game, your self-control game. They'll challenge you because they really want to just break you. I mean, subconsciously, this is we talk about the vampire suckers. We'll do another one on that one, I think. And the narcissistic people, they basically want to break you. So they're going to come after you. So, you know, be careful what you wish for, my friends, because you're going to get women coming after you. But you don't need to try. And this is my point. Don't worry about women who are out there who, you know, you want to be attractive to women. You want people to like you. Don't care about any of that stuff. Focus on your goals. Focus on achieving things. And you'll get so many women who are attracted to you. It'll be just funny. You'll be laughing. I can't tell you how many problems I had when I was a kid with the wrong mentality. Now over the years, now it's flattering. It's laughable to me. It's laughable because it was so wrong the way I was approaching things for so long that it's just laughable when you see it now and you experience it now and retaining and having those other goals, and it's laughable, right? It's laughable. Women who don't care about you that you're married, they don't care about any of that stuff. They are biologically attracted and they can't control themselves. And it's just amazing how much this happens to me now as compared to when I was in my 20s. Probably could have used it a lot more back then, but I had no clue about this stuff. And I really had no idea of how to really handle it. One of the reasons why I started going into the field of communications, because I wanted to figure all of this out. And so as you see this over time, being yourself from a natural standpoint, focusing on your goals, focusing on things you need to do, is going to make you real. You're a real person. You're not thirsting for women. You're not thirsting for this. You're not trying to do this and give women power over you, because that's what you do when you kind of thirst after them. You're giving them power over you. Now they will come to you because they want that attention. They want that validation. They want someone that's going to look at them and say, you're attractive. You know, you're somebody I want to spend time with. You're desirable. This is all women really want this. This is a strong need they have. But you don't really want to do that. You want to focus on your goals, your ambition, your ideas. You should be out there saying, this is what I want to do. So the question when it comes to, I can't attract females, the question I always come back to is, why are you trying? The idea you should be is just letting things go, which is not easy. I get that. I mean, it wasn't easy for me for 47 years, so I get it. But the suggestion, warriors, is to go ahead and be yourself, achieve your goals. Don't think about women. Don't think about it at all. And you'll be surprised in the result you get. Now, the second part of this is that, and I think Alpha 770 talked about it, not seeing benefits. This is, part of this is a number of different things happening here. And I've just seen this over time and talking with people and helping people and myself. You're not going to see benefits right away for a number of reasons. One, you're not going to see benefits if you've had a long history of releasing, like I did for 47 years, because it takes a while for the body to react to what's happening to you. You got 47 years of the wrong way. It took me 3-4 years just to get back on track. And I'm still kind of suffering through things that trying to get back into the right mentality a lot of times. It takes time. It's almost like, you know, drinking 47 years, trying to stop drinking right away. It's very hard to do that. It's almost impossible to do that in some cases. So that's one of the reasons why a person might struggle. And I'm not, as people talk about this, I'm not sure about their individual situations, but that's one reason. The second idea is that you have to learn how to transmute that energy. This is why a lot of men don't succeed until they're in their 40s, 50s, or 60s. You know, and for me, it was late 50s, early 60s. I'm starting to transmute that energy, because the idea is that you're not really used to doing anything but chasing women around, or thinking about women, thinking about how they look, all that stuff, through all that energy. Now you're focusing on deep breathing methods, and we'll probably talk about how to do some of that in another one, how to transmute. I think I did that once, but I've done it a few times, but we'll go back to it. A lot of new subscribers, and you guys want me to repeat topics, and that's great. You can probably look back, we've had 840 type videos over the last 4 years. So there's lots of them out there. You can take a look at it. I look completely different than I did at the beginning of all this, which is kind of interesting. Just a, you know, a case study of how I've improved over the years, and become a lot thinner and all kinds of things. I feel so much more better as every day has gone on. But going back to what we're talking about, when you look at the idea of you know, takes time, you also have to kind of look at the idea of being committed to transmuting. And that's the other thing. Some people are just not as committed to it because they're starting the process. And in the back of my mind, I had 47 years of this, so I know. You're not going to get the full effects unless you go full turkey, and I call full turkey, full gear into this, full committed. Because the whole idea is that you need to start thinking to yourself, okay, am I really going to do this? I wavered for 47 years. Now, what I mean by wavered is that I kind of knew some of this made sense, especially because I had bought Kelder's book, The Fountain of Youth, which I highly recommend, as I try to do every show, mention it if I can. In 1998, I bought it, and I used a lot of those exercises, and I had mild success. But I didn't get the real success I was looking for until I looked at the 6 right, and the 6 right really came down to retaining your seed, your semen. And to do that, you had to really make a commitment saying, I'm done. I'm done. And you could still have intercourse, and we'll talk about this in another one, without actually releasing. But unless you're doing procreation for children, which I don't intend to do, I'm holding this until my last days. And so the thing is that as you look at this, one of the things you got to think about is how committed are you to this process? And as time goes on, you'll become more committed. But you got to go through the beginning stages of this, and that could be another reason. So there's lots of reasons why you're not seeing the total benefits of this. And we'll also talk about detox a little bit too in another one, because a few people brought that out too. There's going to be a time where, and I had that early on, where you're detoxing, detoxification. You've got to get all of this out of your system, because your brain and everything is wired to look at women all day long, to think about women, to think about sex. I think when you're in your 20s and 30s, they estimate, I think you're thinking about sex every like 5 seconds or something like that as an average. I mean, it's just incredible how we're programmed. And society has helped push that, promulgated that to the level where all of a sudden now, you know, it's all we think about. So you got to stay away from the TV set, stay away from the internet, stay away from the phones, focus on doing things where you're focusing on achieving goals, looking at people. And like I said, I look at women now and I see them as my mother, sister, daughter. So of course, you know, I'm not going to have any kind of sexual thoughts with that at all. So that's the thing that you have to kind of look at and say, how do I deal with these situations? And in many cases, even though that woman might be attractive on the picture, or in the, you know, walking by you in the middle of summertime, you know, with very, you know, even a seductive type of look, you're able to sit there and say, okay, this is not worth me breaking my covenant with my Lord. And that's really where you're talking about. As time goes on, you're thinking to myself, my overall goal, and it should be in my estimation, now this is my opinion, so you guys have your own thoughts on this, of course, but my opinion is that you should be focusing and doing all this because you really want to get closer to your Creator. So what difference does it make if women are attracted or not? What difference does it make if you're seeing the benefits or not? you're getting closer to God because you're focusing on the spiritual world instead of the physical world. And I think that's the key difference. So the question again is, females are not attracted to me, or I don't see, that can't attract females. My question is, why are you trying? Why are you trying to do those things that you're trying to avoid? Because you don't want a lot of females you don't want to be involved with a lot of females. I remember a lot of case studies I've seen where people, they lost their energy or they lost their focus. And the first question the therapist asks them is, have you had a lot of sex recently with someone? Because it drains you. And you've got to be very careful of that. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed this one. I actually enjoyed this one a lot because I think this is something that a lot of questions are coming up about, things like, relapsing and how can I deal. And I had a long history of that, so I always enjoy talking and giving my perspective. So I hope you enjoy it as well. All right, my friends, 2 things to always remember before we take off and leave you for another day. First of all, every day is a great day to a new warrior, and I always get that wrong, but you kind of know what I'm talking about here. And number 2, guys, we always have to continue to fight that devil and always continue to realize this is a war we're in, and we always have to continue every day to battle on! God bless you guys. Have a great day.